Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. In this episode, I'll show you a little experience that I did last week in New York. Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. My name is Serge Ramedy. I am a French photographer from the beautiful city of Paris, France, living in Los Angeles, California. And I make 1 to 2 tutorials per week. Click here if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get this weekly show. And click here to get the link to get the raw file of this episode. In almost every tutorial that I do, I give for free my raw files. But to get them so you can train on it, all you have to do is go to my website, photosearch.com. You have to sign in with your email address, confirm the email, and then once you're logged in, the links that are below the videos on YouTube will work and will give you access to the raw files. All right, last week I was shooting some cityscape from a really cool rooftop in New York, and I want to share this experience with you and show you some tricks along the way. Mesdames et messieurs, let's go to New York City. All right, mesdames et messieurs, so before we get into the retouching of the New York skyline, I just want to show you something that's totally new on my website. If you go to my website, photosearch.com, you will come to this place with all my courses. And one question I get all the time is, which course should I start by? So I did what we called a curriculum or a suggested sequence of training where you have basically 14 different courses. So it starts off with the Lightroom CC complete training because it's very important you master, Lightroom CC. Then you got Photoshop for Photographer to master Photoshop. Then you got my Cityscape Masterclass, which by the way, I will do full presentation at the end of this video. Then my Landscape Masterclass, HDR Masterclass, Sky Replacement Bundle, the Art of Black and White, Portrait Composite, Interior Design that I've been doing for years, my Long Exposure Workflow, Time-Lapse Workflow, Photoshop 101, which is a bit more advanced than Photoshop for Photographer, Masking and Extraction Masterclass from my friend Calvin Pimon. Anything you want to know about layers and extraction, if you want to be super pro on very advanced stuff, this is where to go. And the last is my Photography Business Masterclass, if you really want to get your business going. So this is my sequence. Now you can buy them individually, and actually for Halloween, because this has been recorded at Halloween, you can get a super promotion, or you can buy the PhotoSearch Complete Pack, which is everything there. I think if you buy like 3 or 4 courses, you're better off getting a much better deal with buying a complete pack because you just get everything. And if you already bought a course, all you have to do is log into my website and you will see, because you bought a course, you're going to get a special price on the PhotoSearch Complete Pack. A really good deal. It's even cheaper. Voila. I just wanted to brief you because this is something I've been getting dozens and dozens of emails like, what sequence should I train on? Well, this is my suggested sequence. Now, let's go to Lightroom. And before we do this photo, so I want to tell you this little story. So Matt Toskowski, which is a really good friend, who did a great course, by the way, on Lightroom, that I've been following for years. We were together at Photo Plus Expo, and he invited me to the Ink 48 rooftop hotel, which is where he was staying, right next to the Jarvis Convention, where the Photo Expo is. And let me show you what the hotel looks like. This is the hotel, how it looks like during the day. You see, tripods are not allowed, and you have a little glass here. I don't know if you can see. You have a little glass that's kind of thin where you can kind of rest your camera or not. And so I'll show you my little experience. So I started off with this photo. I bracketed it in case, I might use it for some HDR effect. I like to bracket. Whenever I see a scene that I really like, I bracket, especially if there's a bit of a dynamic range. Honestly, the dynamic range was not huge because the city light was not on yet. But, I rather have more than not enough. So this time I decided to bracket. But this was way too early. So I waited, and I started getting this type of shots. That was kind of cool. The city was starting to, was starting to go, bright. If you look at the time of this one, the time is off because it's probably on LA time, but 3:04. This was 15 minutes later, so it started to get dark. This exposure was 1/60th of a second, so it was still very, very fast. But I was at 1,000 ISO, 1,000 ISO. So this was not usable because, I work for galleries and actually was trying to do a photo for my galleries and I wanted to be the best quality possible. So then later on, I got this shot, but the problem is that it got so dark. So now we are at, what time is it now? We are half an hour later from the first photo and it's getting really dark. And this is a half a second. I was trying to lay on the glass and sometime laying on something, or even with my hands, with the Sony A7S 5x stabilization, I can get a good shot, which is what I got here. One shot later, this one is half a second, f4.5, because I was on my 2470, I think. No, 24240, sorry. 24240, so maximum aperture was 4.5, ISO 160, half a second, because I know at half a second, you know, I can still get a pretty decent shot. I mean, it's a little blurry, but honestly usable. But then I was like, it was getting really darker. It was getting darker. So this is how it was getting darker, actually. Let me show you. This is what we're going to, this is after retouching that we're going to show you. And this is the shot that I got. Now, to get this shot, I went back to the 1635, f4. So I opened up, I boost my ISO at 250, but I had to go at 1 second. And 1 second, let me show you this. If I take 1 star off, at 1 second, most of my shots were completely blurry. Like totally blurry, not usable. So then Matt pulled out of his bag this little gadget, which I've never had, called the Play Tripod Pro. I have a Guerrilla tripod, but I didn't take it with me. But the Guerrilla tripod is kind of cool when you have like a fence, you can, you know, bend it around, but that was just a glass. And he showed me this is Platypod Pro, I don't know how you pronounce it, Platypod Pro Max. And this little plate, you don't have to have the screw thing. I didn't have the screw on. I just laid this with my camera on. I put my entire bowl head on it. So I don't know if there's a photo of how it looks with the bowl head. Yeah, something like this. I put like my bowl head on it, and then I could lay on the glass. Now, if you go to my website, Photo Search, and you go to my gear page, I will add in my gear list this item. So if you can order it from my page, it'd be nice, because you know I get a small commission if you order anything from this page, whether you use the BH link or the MH link. It's a very small commission, but you know, whenever you want to do shopping, please use my gear page. That'd be really nice. Anyways, so he gave me that plate. I used it, and boom, amazing, incroyable. It was sharp. 1 second, it was sharp. Now I was really happy, and so. Very often, especially in New York, you have roof rack. This can really slide into a bag. It's even smaller than the Guerrilla thing, and it's really convenient. So now let's do some retouching. So I don't even remember how I retouch this photo. First thing is, let me see. So what I usually do is I have a reference photo. So I'm looking what I did. Okay, you look at my white balance. It's very blue, a little bit of magenta. I boosted the exposure. Okay, I see how I did this. So what did I do is I boosted up the exposure, brought down the highlights. I did my whites. Now, usually when I do my whites with New York City skyline, you can hold on the Alt key, but I don't mind to have something like this. I don't mind to have all this window a little bit burned. That's fine for me. I want, you know, the drama. And then I'm going to do my blacks as usual. My blacks is usually about like this, where I have about 5% of the photo. You see, anything that's red, black, and yellow is 100% black. So now I got a good contrast. I always do a little minus clarity at this point, because it just gives back a little natural look to it. The photo doesn't really look really good because it's missing the white balance. So on this one, I can try to go to daylight, but I think even daylight is going to be way too warm. So what I usually do, especially with skylines, is I go all the way with the blue. I like the blue on this one. I think it's great. And maybe add a little bit of magenta, because that's how it felt to me. That's how the scene looked to me. Not more. I don't even need to add vibrance and saturation. It's already so much. Okay. Now, one thing that's super important when you do daylight shot is this whole section, the detail section. On this one, I like to sharpen a lot, more than usual. So I'm going to go to like 100 on sharpening. Now, when you do that, look how grainy the sky is. This is when the masking comes into view. So you hold on the Alt key, you go right on the masking. Anything which is black is not going to get sharpened. So now look at this. The sky now is less masky, but it still has some noise, because remember, I had to go to 250 ISO. So there's still a bit of noise. So usually what I do is I put about 20 of luminance noise reduction, and now it's very clean. And usually I go and add about only 80 of sharpening. So it does like 80 plus 20 makes 100. Now in this case, and it's only for skyline, I kind of over sharpen a little bit. Not too much, but like I'm going to go a little crazy on this one. You know, maybe like 117 or something, because I just like how it looks. It looks really sharp. Okay. So I was really happy because I was 250 ISO, f4, you know, not the best aperture for this. Tripod were not allowed, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, and I looked on the web and I couldn't see very beautiful photos from there. Okay, so now that we did this, of course I'm going to remove the chromatic aberration in case there is any, enable the profile correction. And last but not least, I'm going to go to upright because the whole horizon is not straight. Click on auto, and hopefully this is going to do its trick. Now, I like that. Now, this logo really bothers me. This logo really bothers me. So, I want to try to do something. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Photoshop. I'm going to show you a trick on this. I'm going to go to Photoshop. I'm actually going to show you it on one other photo. Okay, so now that I did something that I like, I'm going to press Command-Shift-C. I'm going to put this into memory because I know most of oh, I forgot one thing, very important. I want to make this even more drama. I cannot help. So I'm going to take a little brush. I'm going to go to exposure. I'm going to boost the exposure of the brush. Add a bit of yellow because the photo is very blue. I'm going to take auto mask on, flow in density around 80. And I'm going to brush the streets to, you know, where the streets is, just to make them more shiny, more leading lines. Something like this. And I think I don't like that parking lot here. I'm going to cut it here and maybe less here. Something like this. Yeah, that's more what I'm looking for. And yeah, that's about right. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to press Command-Shift-C. And I'm going to uncheck the local adjustment because I don't want to use the brush that I just did. And the crop, I don't want to use that. I'm going to click copy. Now that I've got my basic retouching, I can go on the next photo, which is this one. Again, that was blurry. I wanted to show it to you, this one, because it was blurry at 1 second. Because with the plate, you have to, but the next one, boom, was spot on. I'm going to reset it again. This one was spot on. Let me see. You zoom in at 100%. I think this one was good enough. Yeah. I think the next one would be a little better. Yeah, this one was even better, more sharp. I mean, it's not, I can get better sharpness if I could have put a tripod on, honestly, but this is still very good. It still does great prints. Okay, Command-V, because to take into account, oh, I did, and boom. Okay, and so when you do Command-V, actually, that's my mistake. I should not have taken upright, because upright can do some weird things sometimes. For example, and this time I'm not going to use the upright function. I'm going to use the guided function. So guided function, the way it works is I'm going to take two buildings and make them straight. So each one on the side. So this one I'm going to make it straight like this. And this one I'm going to make it straight. And as soon as I drop the second one, boom, it's going to make the photo straight. Voila. Okay, I kind of like that. Why not? You know, could be a cool idea. Let's carry on. Let's move further. So I actually made a selection here. This is another one that I did, so I'm going to reset it. And I'm going to show you a cool trick on this one. Because, okay, Command-V again to copy what I did. Okay, I'm going to do upright off. I'm going to try auto. Doesn't do a good job. I'm going to do guided. And guided, I'm going to take this building, make it straight. And this building, you just take two buildings at the extreme and make it straight. Boom. Not bad at all. Nah. Okay. I want to see if I can do better. I'm going to do guided again. And I'm going to do guided again. But this time I'm going to press Alt and I'm click Reset Upright. You see, when you click the Alt key, Reset Upright, I'm click on guided because I want to redo guided. I'm going to take another building here. I'm going to take this one. I really want to make this one straight because that's kind of the star of the photo. And let's see this one here. Let's see that. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Okay. Now there's something I don't like about this. So what you can do is first I can rotate the photo. Okay, I can use the manual things. You know, it's really a trial and error process. Sometimes it takes a second, sometimes it takes more. So I'm going to rotate the photo until this line leans inward and this line leans inward. You see how this is crooked and this is crooked? I want to rotate the photo until basically my original line is straight. And then I'm going to go to vertical and go left. And I'm going to blend this. And you play with vertical and you play with rotate until you get something that you like. Okay, not too much. And then constraint crop to take out. Yeah, I'm still not very happy. I think the horizon is still not very straight. So, then you can go to the crop tool, and it's kind of easier sometimes. You can just move around the crop tool to make things even more straight. And I think I'm going to crop it here. I mean, this is a 42 million pixel file, so I forgot 42, 46, Sony A7R2. Okay, and I don't like that I have this cropped, so I'm going to go back here. I don't want this cropped, and maybe this in full, something like that. I think the first time I did it was better. Let me see. If I go back in history, before I resetted everything, voila. Here, let's see how I did it the first time. Yeah, I liked it more how I did it the first time. But that was the idea. I played around with guided. I played around with all this until I got this result. That I like. Now, one thing, the reason I want to show you this photo was not for the guide thing, was more for, you see these logos here? They really bother me. So one thing I like to do is I like to throw this over in Photoshop and click edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. And then I can take another photo. So let me see what I have here. I'm going to go to, for example, my Paris shots. So I'm in Paris. I'm going to take this one, for example, edit in Adobe Photoshop 2015 and take another nice photo that I like from Paris. Not this one, seems to be too small. Maybe, I don't know, something that's kind of cool. Maybe this black and white one. Okay, let's see the resolution. I want to make sure I've got enough pixel. That should be fine. Photoshop 2015. So let me jump over to Photoshop. So now I got this photo opened up, and this photo of Paris, and this photo of Paris. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop this photo here over this tab, and let go my mouse. So now I've got this photo of Paris in front of this. And you see this whole frequency TV show ad, I want to replace it. So I'm going to press Command T, or you can go to Edit, Free Transform, but Command T is a good shortcut to know. Hold on the Shift and Alt key to make this small. I want to make it small, about the size here of the poster. Press Enter. I'm going to zoom in. Okay. Press Command T again. And now comes the magic. First, Shift and Alt to make it smaller, but without making it, I'm making it even smaller, maybe a little bigger. And then you hold down the Command key on a Mac. I guess it's Control on your keyboard. And now I can just put one point here, take this point, put it here, take this point, put it here, take this point, put it here. Okay, and you can adjust a little bit. And this way you can take a logo out pretty fast. Now what you can do is lower a little bit the opacity, just a little bit, like so that it blends in. You can even blur it if you think it's too sharp compared to the rest of the photo. In this one, and if you want to, I can Command T, make it a little bit bigger, something like this. And voila. So I added one poster here, and then it takes a second. I'm going to take this black and white photo, put it over here, drag and drop it. It's already very small. That's fine. I'm going to zoom in, Z to zoom, press Command T, make it smaller, about the size of the poster. And voila. Hold on the Command key, and I'm just going to drag this. And one thing you could do that's kind of cool is you could put the same picture in the same picture. So it's sort of like a picture in a picture. I've seen some photographers do that too. Okay, and lower the opacity of that layer so it blends a little bit more, just a little bit, and you can make it blurry. And voila, I took out these two ads. I mean, this kind of look weird. It's a black and white one. Maybe what you can do is just take the same one. I can take the same layer and make it small. Take the same photo. I think this would look more decent. I'm going to take the black and white off. And so you get the same sort of mood. Command T, you get the ID, and then just put this like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Voila. This one too. And so it gives it like a perspective. thing and lower a little bit the opacity so it sort of mix up without seeing the logo that was there before. And voila, I replaced this logo. So back to Lightroom. I want to show you the latest one that I did. Actually, my favorite one was this one. I actually went to 35 millimeter and I really zoomed in, and I love what it did with the cloud. So let me show you how I did this one. I'm going to press Command V to copy all that we did so far. I think it should still be in memory. Very good. Did most of the work. Except I'm going to reset the crop. Something is wrong with the upright, so I'm going to go off on the upright because it doesn't need really an upright. And on this one, I think all I did was I cut here. I really wanted to be on this building here. And I think this one I made it maybe a little darker. And I think what I did is I took a brush. I did the same thing here that I did before. So remember, a bit of yellow, a bit of exposure on the streets. In the streets. Voila, voila. Okay, just to have some leading lines. If you can so much, you can back it down. And then I think I'm going to click on New. And I'm going to do same thing here. I want to add some white here on the clouds. But for this, I'm going to lower a lot the flow and the density. And I'm going to take out the yellow. I just want to add a bit of exposure on the clouds. But very small, just because I think these clouds were amazing. They really make the photo. Voila. And everything else is already done because remember we copied and pasted the settings that we did here. Sharpening. And this one is a little blurry, to be honest. It's not. I think I have a better one. But you get the idea. I still think it's going to make great photos, and some of them are really sharp. So voila, that's a little trick from my, I wanted to share this experience with you because honestly, some of the best shot I ever got from New York. I wish this one were originally in my book because that view from the Ink 48 and that night and that cloud was really, really amazing. All right, so I hope you go out there, take some photos, look at the beauty of this world, and share it with the rest of the world. I think photography is one of the most amazing jobs on the planet. And if you want to, I want to share my passion with you even more, check out my full cityscape masterclass that I just did, 5 hours course, over 30 projects. Here's a little presentation. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs and welcome to my Cityscape Masterclass. I just want to walk you through all the different projects that I have. I'm actually just on a few projects because there is over 40 different full retouching and I just picked a few so you have an idea of what you're going to be learning. So first we're going to go live in the Arc de Triomphe where I'm going to show you how I compose my photos, and then we're going to do some lone exposure, black and white, selective color or not of the Arc de Triomphe. We're going to go on the top of the Arc de Triomphe and have a beautiful photo shoot there, and I'll show you how to retouch because how you can do it without a tripod. Tripod are not authorized on top of the Arc de Triomphe. And then we're going to continue by going to Notre Dame where I did a lot of shoot and a lot of live shoots, and I'll show you the best that came out of it. That's the before. That's the final photo that we're going to get in the Notre Dame. That's another one we're going to get. That's the before photo, and that's the final result where we're going to do like an HDR and really getting all the details coming out. Then I'm going to take you to the Da Vinci Code Church, the Saint-Sulpice, Église Saint-Sulpice, and we're going to do it again in the middle of afternoon, live, an ND1000 shoot to get this final result. Then we're going to go the whole way down to the south of France in Provence. I'm going to bring you to Saint-Tropez, and we're going to do some night street photography with lone exposure. That's the before, and that's the final result. One of my favorite one of these small cities in the south of France. This is also a big panorama we're going to be doing, an HDR panorama. And that's the final result. It's a lot of photos. It took about 18 photos to get this result, still in the south of France. Then we're going to go back up the whole way to Amiens in the north of France, and I'm going to show you some before and after of a beautiful sunset. I really wanted to do small cities. I wanted to do big cities. So this is again Amiens before and after. We're going to go back to Paris in the Louvre, and I'm going to show you a really cool technique to take out and erase all the tourists. That's the before, and that's the after with no tourists, a beautiful sunset in the Louvre. Then we're going to go to New York, and in New York I'm going to show you a lot of projects there, but this is just one in particular I'm going to show you. This is a building in New York, and that's the final image. It's a pretty tricky retouching with a vertorama, sky replacement, a lot of different things to make really this photo pop. Then I'm going to show you the full workflow of one of my favorite photo ever that I actually sold the most, and this is the view of Paris. It's the cover of this course, And there is some work that was taken to get rid of this photo and make it pop, and this is something you can apply on all the high vintage view that you have on cityscapes. Then we're going to finish by Venice, and this is just one of the projects. That's the before and after during the Carnival. So I've been preparing this course for over a year, taking photos from all over the world. The idea is really to show you my best photos, all my retouching techniques. It's very much in the same idea than the landscape masterclass, except this one is for cities. It's got a lot of tricks that you won't find anywhere else, neither on my YouTube channel or on the other courses. There's a lot of new techniques there, and I've even retouched old photos with new techniques that came out with Lightroom CC and Photoshop CC. So I hope you do check it out. It's one of my longest courses that I ever did, the Cityscape Masterclass, and I'm sure it will help you to take your cityscape photos really to the next level. Check it out.